He did what we all must learn to do. You and you and you and you. Duck and cover.
Be sure and remember what Bert the Turtle just did, friends, because every one of us must remember to do the same thing. That's what this film is all about. Duck and cover.
Let the bodies hit the...
Times sure have changed. According to schoolshooting.org, there have been 340 school shootings since 1992. This year marks the 10th anniversary of one of the deadliest school shootings, Columbine High School. 12 students and 1 teacher were brutally murdered on April 20th, 1999. Only 2 years have passed since the massacre of Virginia Tech, in which 32 people lost their lives. UNLV has over 28,000 students and 3,300 faculty and staff. It covers 332 acres and is located in the heart of the Las Vegas Valley. But how safe is UNLV? Several students came forward and shared their opinions on UNLV safety. Tony, a management and information systems major, feels there should be more security at night.
In the morning, it's, I feel safer than at night, because at night it gets dark, like you said, it gets really dark, and around this area it's really dark, and you're just walking around, it's kind of creepy, and I have some friends, like they're girls, and they don't really feel safe here when it's at nighttime, especially by themselves, because there's not a lot of people around.
Lawrence, a civil engineer major, feels that the insufficient lighting is a main concern.
The lighting, not really, because when it gets dark sometimes, it gets really dark over here. There's not enough lighting in the areas over here, especially this area, it gets dark.
Ashley Brooks, a kinesiology major, is concerned about her safety in walking back to her car alone.
In the day, I'm fine. I have no problem with that. But at night, it starts to get a little more creepy. I work here on campus, and I work till 10 o'clock on Thursdays. So at night, it gets really scary. And I always have to park far because, parking is not near. So I usually have somebody walk me. Either I'll call my friends if one of my coworkers not there, but usually it's set up to where our coworkers and I, we park next to each other, and so we walk with them. So then I feel more safe.
Jessica Kritzler, an early childhood education major, feels that campus security could do better.
Honestly, I really think it needs improvement, especially at night. As a girl, I always make sure someone walks me to my car. I don't feel like campus police really takes safety important. I kind of feel like they're lacking, and I had a family member that kind of got hurt at her school, so I think they really need to improve that kind of stuff. I really feel like if maybe even there was more lights on campus or anything, I only see a few of those telephone calls, that emergency calls around campus, and I just don't think that it's enough.
Lieutenant Richard Dome with the UNLV Police Department believes that UNLV is as safe as the other schools surrounding the valley.
For the roughly half square mile that we have around campus, it is definitely a safe community compared to some of the other surrounding streets and areas we have.
According to the Las Vegas Metro Police Department, there have been over 1,200 incidents in the square mile surrounding UNLV in the last 60 days. The incidents ranged from traffic violations to assault with a gun. So what is UNLV doing to keep students safe? Israel Sandoval, facilities coordinator for the student union, explains how he prepares his staff for an emergency situation.
I like to make sure that they're CPR and first aid certified, first and foremost, just for small, day-to-day things that might happen. But then we make sure that they know, again, what our evacuation procedures are. They have, communication tools, cell phones on them that they can contact police and contact, any staff that, needs to, arrive to the building in case of an emergency. They know, the ins and outs of the building, what our emergency, exits are, and, the safest and quickest routes out of the building. And they know also which staff that are here when, also when they're here, that can help them to evacuate a building, in case of an emergency.
What we did tonight was our annual lighting walk, and what we do is we get together with members of our community to actually walk the different areas of campus and split into groups, and to kind of observe if there's areas maybe that need more lighting, needs some shrubbery or bushes maybe trimmed down due to the overgrowth that's maybe become unsafe or is blocking existing lighting. Also, we'll check emergency call boxes, make sure that they're lit and visible at night so people can see them, know where to go to in case they need help. We'll also check even areas like the roadways or the sidewalks in case we've got maybe some damage or obstructions that could end up becoming safety issues.
Lieutenant Dome offers UNLV students a few tips on how to stay safe at campus.
Be aware of your surroundings, kind of pay attention, look around. Especially at a campus, it's real easy to kind of get your head buried in a book and be concentrating on your schoolwork and not really watching what's happening around you. Number one, if you're aware of your surroundings, you can kind of observe situations and maybe preclude something from happening. The next thing I would recommend is, if possible, try not to walk by yourself. If you can't walk with some friends, some colleagues, there's always safety in numbers. And again, in being aware of your surroundings, know where the emergency call boxes are located throughout campus if you don't have a cell phone. If you do have a cell phone, program in the campus police telephone number on it, because if you dial 911 directly, it's going to go to the city and there's a delay in switching it over to our department. But that way, not only if there's a safety issue, but if you happen to notice something like another individual maybe that's fallen, got injured, anything of that nature, you're able to call and get help there to where it's needed.
What if there were a school shooting to happen at UNLV? Would you feel prepared?
I'd run, but I wouldn't know what to do to happen. But if it did happen, I'm pretty sure it'd be chaos over here. Everyone's going crazy.
I think whoever's in charge will be able to take care of the situation. As far as I'm concerned, I will probably be the most terrified person there.
If something were to happen, I think we'd be pretty prepared that we know when we need to evacuate buildings, when we need to lock down facilities. We have the proper the staff that's properly trained to be able to handle that regardless of the date and time. If something were to occur, we want to be prepared at any time, because anything can happen at any time. So again, we don't want to have no staff here that won't be able to know what to do.
What we're advising students is one of three possible alternatives you can do. Number one is that if a situation like that's happening and you can get away. Try to get away from the incident as far as you can. If you don't believe that you can get away, your next suggestion is to kind of lock down yourself into an area, into a room. If you can, close lock doors, maybe even barricade it, shut lights down, keep sound down to a minimum. That way the individual can't as easily get to you, or might not even be able to get to you, no bypass on. Final thing, obviously, is if the individual's right there, you're not able to get away or barricade yourself from them, then you're back again into that fight or flight type attitude. If it comes down to a situation where it's you or him, at that point in time, you're down to your last resort. You do whatever you need to survive.
An incident on Monday shows how very real the possibility of a shooting can occur.
What we had today is we had an individual that apparently had a firearm with him that he brought onto campus. He didn't actually carry it on his person while going around his daily activities, but he had it what turned out to be inside his vehicle. And a passerby initially noticed it as he was getting out. I guess he was putting either the weapon away or doing something with it, notified the police department. We were able to track the individual down and secure him as well as the weapon.
How do you know about that?
You know about that?
I don't have it, but I heard of it. I don't know, they could start putting it on the little tables in the SU.
Something happens on campus, people should know, even if it's happening across campus and you're on this side,
Lieutenant Dome has these last few words of advice.
Again, just everybody be safe, be aware of your surroundings, and have a good school year.
If you do not know just what to do, ask your teacher when this film is over. Discuss what you could do in different places if a bomb explodes. Older people will help us as they always do, but there might not be any grown-ups around when the bomb explodes. Then, you're on your own.
Remember what to do, friends. Now tell me right out loud. What are you supposed to do when you see the flash?